today we are going to introduce the importance of breaking the taboo of mental health. So we divided our presentation into 3 parts: the individual, the social, and the economic. And now I'm going to talk about the impacts of the mental health taboo on the individual. There are 2 points. Taboo will affect the treatment of people with mental health problems, and it is a vicious cycle of having stigma and taboo. So according to the CNN News, from the World Health Organization in Britain, the figure shows that 1 in 4 of us will be affected by the mental health problems. People come up against with a negative reaction when they disclose their illness, which makes the speaking out and seeking the support they need much harder than it needs to be. And I found an example of a British employee, Brian, who suffered from the mental health problems since his teens. He said that the society, the world in which I was operating, the country in which I was operating, it was a taboo. And he also added that although huge progress has been made in the UK in the last 10 years, it was still quite taboo. From his opinion, we found that he said the other attitudes and the taboo of the mental health issues make his life feel harder and his treatment feel harder. So there is an investigation done by the expert. He found 15 experts in the mental health issues and record their opinions about the mental health taboo. In the effects of the individual, one of the government psychologists talks about his perspective, which impressed me. He said that it is a vicious cycle. People avoid or reject them. Then they feel neglected and they feel small. So they refuse to come to the clinic or the hospital because people will see them there. Obviously, without the treatment, they're going to get worse, and what happens next? The more stigma. So who's going to break the cycle? And I also did the investigation of some people on the streets, and let's see the video.
If you suffer from mental health issues, would you willing to pay the high price for seeking help?
正常情况下，如果我自己发现自己有这个倾向的话，我会自己去排解。不会就是说，去花钱去找医生去，就是说还没到那个地步，然后我就自己把它会排解掉，绝对不会让自己到那个地步。好的。
If someone you know has a mental health disorder or even disease, would you take the initiative to communicate with them and even help them?
如果这个人和我关系非常好吧，属于闺蜜那一种，对，我会适当的尝试的去和她去沟通交流一下，然后引导她，然后，适当的时候呢会带她去看看医生。 如果不熟悉那一种同事啊朋友的，我肯定不会主动去搭理他，因为第一个不了解嘛，也不知道后果会怎么样，所以我不会主。
So the mental health problems will not only affect individuals negatively, but also affect the society sometimes when the individual impact becomes more serious. So here are the points we've concluded to show the impacts on society, and I'm going to talk about the first 3 points first. So I believe that serious mental health could cause communication disorders, and this can be proved according to my interview with a Chinese psychologist. The patient's family members and friends could feel that they become a little asocial, and when their mental health problems become serious. Moreover, most people are not professional enough to help the patients. So it could be possible that the moods of the patient's family members and friends could also be affected badly, and this will create a vicious cycle, which could extend the range of effects, and the consequences will be serious. And I also believe that the people with serious mental health problems could get in danger more easier because they will have the communication disorders, and this also can be proved based on the research I've done online. It is a quotation from a research which gathered the results of many experiments from 1966 to 2007 to show that people with mental health problems could be victimized more easier. Thus, I think that it is important for people to go to a psychologist for help when they think they are mentally ill, or ask the people around them they think there's something wrong, who they think there's something wrong with them. So apart from what we just mentioned, the impact on the society also includes the impact on employment rate and homelessness. So there's no doubt that everyone faces pressure and stress while working. What's more important is that how should employees deal with the pressure so that the stress will not build up in the mind and leads to psychological problems. So what will happen if employees were plagued by psychological problems? According to my research, employed people with mental health problems also have more absences from work and have presenteeism at work. And 3/4 of people who have with mental health disorders report that it affects their productivity at work. So next, let's see the video about the interview with one company CEO and what's his opinion about the employees with psychological disorders.
我们有的员工举个简单例子，我们以前有一个员工，他的确是他心理压力很大他总觉得自己做不好。那我们也经常是从多方面去劝导他一定要释放自己，放松自己不要把这种压力逐渐堆积到心里面，达到一定程度的时候就变成问题。然后虽然我们经常开导，但是还是不行，他最后的那个心理压力还是转化了成了问题。然后他主要表现在就是工作中跟同事之间的这种配合就越来越少，然后配合的默契度越来越低，从而导致什么？就是一个人独来独往。那我们这种行业是不允许出现这种情况。
所以你在这种情况下会选择开除他们，还是会让他休假，是吗？
应该这样说吧，开除呢可能太过于残忍吧，应该这样说，我是采取的是先让他休假了一段时间，然后回来的时候我们看他的状态，一开始休假完回来还可以，但是过一段时间又不行，然后我们最后采取的方式是叫劝退吧，因为我觉得他这样会影响我们整个团队的一种协作的能力，跟一种服务的能力。
So after watching the video, here's the data I think may be helpful for us, and which says the employment rate is 10 to 15% lower than normal people, and 6 to 7 times more likely to be unemployed for this employee with psychological problems. So I think maybe the effect on the employment rate will have direct connection to the homelessness. So mental health problems can be associated with homelessness, including in association with unemployment, poverty, substance use, and challenges with forming and maintaining stable relationships. So studies have shown that 30 to 35% of homeless people have a mental health illness, and nearly a quarter have more than one illness. So, as we can see, psychological disorders can exacerbate other public health issues and increasing the burden on national economies. And the importance of encouraging the citizen to solve psychological problems has appeared. Since people may have taboo on the phenomenon that some people asking for psychological help. So, in order to reduce the negative impacts of psychological problems, the first step is to break the taboo of the public on psychological health.
So our next part is about the impact on the economic. As we all know, for a company, if there are too many workers here have mental health problems, it will cause huge economic loss because those people just cannot work properly and efficiently. And here we have an experiment to detect whether a company should focus on the prevention of mental health problems or to focus on helping those people who return to work. So as the table shown, there are basically two groups. Prevention and treatment, which means those people, they still do not have mental diseases that they return to have. And the article will return to work, which means those people already have mental diseases, but they are treated and they return to work again. So let's just simply look to the results because we don't have too much time. And if you want to know more details about this experiment, just click on the link here on the desk board. So just search for this link and you can get more details. And the result is just for a company, if it focuses on the prevention or treatment to those people, it can create a higher cost-benefits ratio. It does not mean that we have to give up those people who return to work. And also this experiment has some of the limitations, but one thing is certain is that the company should pay more attention to those problems, and probably they have to provide counseling for its workers. And next, we will hear a psychiatrist to talk about what is the psychological counseling really is, and what were they prepared for that, and why some of the people do not like to have the counseling, and how to solve this kind of problems.
我完全可以了解，在我们的社会当中，这还是一个小众。对，毕竟在华人社会当中，去寻求一个人来帮忙解决心理上的问题是不普遍的。比如说我失恋了，我会觉得我找我兄弟喝个酒，我自己睡3天，对，我甚至我浪迹天涯，那我不会想说我要去看一个心理医生，因为好像说我心里有病一样。会啊，我会根据他给我的资料先做一些研读，先查一些背景，包括他的职业，因为我不了解每个职业，所以比如说我今天来的是一个金融行业的人，我要先了解一下他的公司、他的地区，然后他从业多少年，他的薪资大概是多少，他们这个从业人员的工作状况、生活形态是怎么样，他通常会遇到什么困难等等等等，我们都会先做准备。其实我觉得就是华人文化会觉得去看心理医生就是有精神病，这件事情我觉得差很多。那这个标签化会让很多的人不愿意踏出这一步。那第二个是我们普遍有一种文化的概念，就是你心里苦，忍一忍就过去了。对，你忍一忍就过去了，你不会觉得我先手受伤，我一定要去敷药，但我心里受伤，你会觉得我忍一忍就过去了。好，所以我们就不会觉得这好像是一个要去求助于别人的人的事情。好，我觉得这个东西没有打开，那当然也包含整个心理咨询的这个推广，其实需要，我觉得社会大众必须体会到，心理学对于他自己是有帮助的，因为在你自己的自我提升上，了解自己，或者透过一个专业的人，他一方面可以像一个镜子一样，帮你看清楚你自己，另外一方面他又可以引导你去塑造你更好的样子。这个其实是你通往一个更好的自己最有效率的一条路。如果你体验过这个力量，你就会相信，当我有一些事情需要求助的时候，去求助一个专业的人，它是很必须的。对，所以去体验看看，不管是营队也好，活动也好，甚至是一些1对1的咨询，就去试试看，抱着这种心情去试试看。如果你觉得很好，你就可以进到这里面来。如果你觉得你不适合，那也没关系，你的人生经验可能到目前为止还没有这个急迫性，那也都没关系。我觉得亲自体验过会比一直听人家说有效的多。对。
The article I found talks about the mental illness impact on economic. The article says that people with mental illness face discrimination in a variety of settings which can have an economic impact. And the aim of this paper was to identify literature on the economic impact of mental illness discrimination. A systematic review of the literature identified 30 papers from 27 studies by searching electronic databases and hand searching references, like this on the PPT. And the results was that mental illness discrimination was found to impact negatively on employed income, public views about resource allocation and healthcare costs. And also discrimination regarding mental health problems lead to adverse economic effects for people with these conditions. Interventions and reducing stigma may therefore also be economically beneficial.
So in conclusion, we talk about this issue through 3 aspects: individually, socially, and economically. And the result is, it is really important to break the taboo of mental health. And here is our reference list.